Hey everybody, Brian McCumber here from Tech Money Talks. I am excited because today we have someone who came highly recommended to be on the podcast. We are fortunate to have Emma Reid as a special guest on the show. She is on the rise in dropshipping and is quickly becoming an internet personality. And for those of you in dropshipping, you need to get to know who Emma is because within 8 months, she's produced over $500,000 in dropshipping and is living the laptop lifestyle. If you're interested in starting an online business to make extra money, you better save this episode in your back pocket and listen to it over and over again because the stories and the tips you're going to learn here will give you the opportunity to quickly launch your own business to help your bank account grow fat. Emma is one of the youngest female professional dropshippers on the planet, earning a strong six-figure income by the young age of 22 years old. Over the past year before my eyes, she's been sharing her tips and growing her influence while keeping it real the whole time. Time is money, and everyone is looking to get a piece of her time, and I'm so happy to have her on the show today. Emma, thanks for joining us. How's it going?
Hey, it's awesome. Thanks. It's great to be on here. I love
Awesome.
talking about this stuff.
Oh, that's great. Well, hey, you're doing a great job at it for sure. And I've been catching you online through, Instagram and YouTube, and I'm pretty sure we'll get a chance to dive all into that. To take a step back for the audience, can you share your journey into dropshipping?
Okay, so basically, I'm not an overnight success story. So I've been earning money online since I was 16. So I've been in this world for quite a while now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just hit over $500,000 in one of my dropship stores, and that was pretty awesome experience. When I was 16, I was running a profitable Tumblr blog. That was kind of my first intro into the space. I was doing affiliate marketing and promoting an app to a large audience on there. And
Awesome.
I made around $60,000 in pure profit from that. No startup costs, no expenses, just using the free traffic.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
and then I've just been doing all those sorts of things, like testing different online money making activities, like having blogs, affiliate marketing, domain flipping. I even sold pictures of cats for crypto using the website, the game CryptoKitties, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember catching that. Yeah, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then and then I moved into dropshipping.
Wow, that is really awesome. So this is so amazing. So even to take a step back further, like how did you venture into the space of ecom and online business?
When I was growing up, my mom was really into computers and, teaching herself how to fix them, remove viruses, even build them from scratch.
Wow, really
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, she's really cool. When I was about 6, so this is going back to 2004, I was actually helping her build a website with Microsoft Front Page. So I have
Yeah.
been around on the internet since I was a baby, really. Um,
Well, that's
yeah,
cool. So your
and
mom's a techie then. So that's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Uh,
really good. Okay. So now I'm making the connection. All right.
and then after that, I guess I kind of got addicted to the internet and gaming at a really young age. When
Okay.
I was, a really big gamer. And when I was 11, I come across this online game called Habbo Hotel and figured out that there was a bit of a marketplace going on there. You could have in-game currency that you buy with real money, and basically had to buy and sell furniture to decorate your room and throw parties. So a little
Uh,
online community.
uh-huh.
Yeah. And then I managed to figure out how to game that a little bit, get more of the in-game currency. I was just a kid, so I was just having fun, but yeah, it was a bit of an experiment into the business world of things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, it's really good for kids when they're young to get into that kind of thing. Um, and then after that, I did manage to make around $100 in PayPal money from that venture at 11 years old. And that was my first real kind of intro. And that's what
So it
led
turned into
to,
real money.
yeah, that's what led to real money.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome,
um,
man. Yeah, I'm glad that you touched on that because like especially, kids, learning through games, that's such a popular thing and even like I'm not sure if you read the book like Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, but he has that game called Cash Flow. And that's where you kind of learn some of the business principles about earning passive income. And basically, he says you get out of the rat race when your passive income exceeds your earned income. Through games, you're learning those business principles, and then for you, being in the gaming, that you learn some of these things, and then the cool thing is that you actually turned it into real cash afterwards.
yeah, it's really important to start doing that stuff when you're young. And I do see a lot of people getting into it now at such young ages. Like, there's these 10-year-olds on Instagram selling slime through like PayPal money and stuff. It's ridiculous.
Wow!
It's
Wow!
actually amazing that this generation is becoming such young business people.
Man, wow, that's a really great story too. So then what was the story behind, actually kind of stumbling upon like drop shipping and then venturing into that space?
Okay, so back in 2016, I was in between projects and decided that I should probably get my first, real job because I was finishing up high school and I hadn't had a real job before, just been making
Oh,
money on the internet. So I
wow.
picked up a receptionist job for around 6 months until I got completely bored of it. I don't know how people work normal jobs. Um, yeah, and then I started up an affiliate blog again and started getting that rolling. It was in the
Mhm.
fitness niche, but I did come across a post on Black Hat World by Frank Hatchett. I've
Oh,
mentioned him
okay.
before, but that's my real intro into dropshipping. There was this
Okay.
post about how you could take these products from AliExpress, run ads for it, or promote it using Facebook group hacking. So, posting in Facebook groups, hey, check out
Uh-huh.
this product, or look what I just bought, and linking to the product.
Yeah, yeah.
So, my blog was on WooCommerce and WordPress, and I decided to just test this and see if it worked, see if I could get a sale from this whole online e-commerce thing. And I threw up a store on WooCommerce, the add-on for WordPress, and got it rolling. And that was my first experience dropshipping.
Wow, that's awesome. And what year was that when you got started?
2016, so like 3 years ago.
Wow, yeah. And even then, like, I mean, and you probably now since then can see how things have changed, but even starting back then, really awesome because I think that was like a really good time to get started, especially if you were working with ads and stuff like that. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Great. I was getting conversions for like $1 a pop using free plus shipping. And that was just
Oh,
insane.
wow. Yeah, yeah. That's really good stuff. Yeah, for sure. Man, this is awesome. So, yeah, this is really awesome. And you know what? In doing some research on you, I remember catching what you mentioned. If you can, share that the supplier story that you ran into, because I thought that was really a good like lesson learned, and it sounds like it's becoming one of your strengths now. And I don't want to ruin it for the audience, but I'll let you kind of share that story with them.
So how I was running the free plus shipping offers on that store, getting conversions for $1 a pop with this like fitness brand website. It was a blog slash little online store.
Yeah.
And I had my first real experience running ads. Like, I had never run ads before this, like paid ads on Facebook, so I had to learn all that from scratch. But once I did, I had the ball running. I was getting sales. Got around 300 orders. Things were going excellent
Wow.
until my supplier ran away, cut me off, and didn't ship any of them.
Oh my Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
one of the real life challenges of like real drop shipper that it's kind of like part of the growing pains and and lessons learned along the way. But yeah, I'll let you continue sharing the story.
Yeah, if you're scaling, you really need to make sure that you have a good supplier and you're focusing on the back end. Because after this, I couldn't find the product on AliExpress anywhere else. I couldn't find a supplier for it anywhere, so I was kind of stuck holding the bag, and I had to refund all of the customers, 300 people, and
Wow.
I was out the ad costs, I was out the product costs, I was out everything, and I was in the negative. So that
Wow.
was a real bad experience, but it has definitely taught me a lot about really doing your research on the suppliers and taking care of the customers, because the customers are the blood of your business. And
Yeah.
not many young drop shippers really pay attention to that in the beginning stages. It's all about, getting the sales. And I respect
Yeah.
that. I was like that too. But
Yeah.
it comes to a point when you need to focus, especially if you're scaling.
Very well said. And yeah, I mean, for the audience listening, it's part of the growing, pains. Initially as you're venturing into drop shipping, you're just hoping to get sales, and then you want to get more sales. Like Emma said, is just like, focusing on the back end and making sure taking care of your customer, because hopefully you can get repeat customers if you actually have a good, funnel and a system going through. And hopefully we could talk a little bit about that. But in this case, related to the supplier, something like this to hit, I mean, it would knock anybody out of the game altogether. How did it impact you, and how did you overcome that?
So it actually did knock me out of the game. I got totally demotivated and I threw in the towel for a while there.
Wow.
I decided, instead of like, because I didn't really have the knowledge to fix it back then, because I was so young in the space, so new to it all. Looking back, I could have like really tried to find another supplier, ordered it in bulk and told everyone to wait and give them like a discount because it was taking so long. I could have kind of recovered doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you just give up. And I decided to test something else. I took the product and figured out that I could actually make my own version of this product, handmade just by me, and it would give me more control over the supply line because I was the one, making it and shipping
Yeah.
it and all of
Yeah. It
that.
gave you full control
Yeah, full control, but full control is not
and full
always good.
responsibility.
Yeah. I couldn't scale it because I couldn't teach other people how to make it at that time. And, I didn't hire out and all of that, the stuff that you need to do to really, really scale something when it's your own product. With drop shipping, it's kind of easy to scale because you're not in control of the supply line and shipping the product. But when it's a real private label brand, then yeah, you're in control unless you outsource it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And that's good. And this shows, the perseverance that you had. So like, it knocked you out for a bit, or really it was just kind of like a setback. And I think you were probably just kind of regathering, just kind of assessing what happened. But I could tell, you have it in you where, you're a problem solver and you're looking for solutions. And as your first step, you took full control, and then you saw some of the drawbacks of, taking full control, that it wasn't as scalable like you could do before. Now, up to this point, what's the process of the way you're doing your, product sourcing and things like that?
So I actually, once I had scaled up my $500,000 store, I sent to fulfillment centers. So I ordered it in bulk from Alibaba or like my supplier as well on AliExpress.
Hmm.
Sometimes they do you deals and you already know them, so you're connected. And then I sent it, imported it in bulk to the US and set up with a fulfillment center. So I still wasn't fulfilling the product myself. I didn't have to touch it, but they were doing it. They were doing the shipping domestically, really fast shipping. So customers got the product in like 2 days, which is
Wow.
amazing for getting repeat business. And yeah,
That's really awesome. Yeah, so hopefully the audience is catching on to that. Emma figured out, coming back in that there's other ways to make sure that you can have a solid source and then even improve on things, faster shipping times and things like that. It's really awesome. And I think, at the level that you're at now and what you're producing and the lessons that you learned and you overcame, now I would say, that product sourcing that's becoming one of your strengths. Would you say so?
yeah.
Really awesome stuff. That's great. So, one of the things that I did catch and kind of following you on Instagram was that 75 hard challenge. Can you share with the audience a little bit about that?
So the 75 hard challenge is basically, it looks like an exercise challenge. You've got to drink a gallon of water a day, do two 45-minute workouts a day, read 10 pages of a book every day, and go on a diet. It doesn't matter what diet it is, but you can either cut something out of your diet, like don't have sugar, or stick to strict macros and calories, whatever. But it's not a diet, it's a discipline challenge. So it is designed to make you disciplined, to really make you push past your excuses. So I'm doing it for 75 days, and if I can stick to doing those things for 75 days without missing it, then I'm going to master my mind and be able to do little things more easily and not procrastinate. And that's what
Yeah.
the 75 hard challenge is about, really strengthening your mind.
Really awesome. Really awesome stuff. And yeah, I mean that's been great. And I love the one part, and I'm not sure if it was like originally a part of it, but you said that you always do something that scares you.
Oh, that I added that in.
You added that in. I thought that part
Yeah,
was really cool, because basically, a big part of, success is about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And, even from my experience, it's just like, it's more about perception. So, if there's something that you don't know or haven't tried, but you want to get into, instead of being fearful about it, I get excited about it because it's just like, man, if I don't know it, there's something new I'm going to learn. So I'm excited. It might be awkward and you're just kind of learning, but it's just more about your mindset. And I love that you added that to the list because I think it's really powerful. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
yeah, sure. I am really big on doing things that scare you at the moment. Like, I have led a really private life and, been in a little bit of a bubble. And I decided 2 months ago, I think it was, to really get out and start networking and actually interacting with people, sharing my story. And I decided that I'm going to do that by doing one thing every day that scares me. And I added that to the 75 hard list just to make it easier. But but yeah, so I became comfortable on camera. I was like deathly afraid of the camera. I've been doing podcasts. Those
Uh-huh.
scare me too.
Yeah.
Um, and and all of that, and just really challenging myself to see what's next, because you're
Yeah.
never going to know what you're good at if you don't try it.
Very well said. Yeah. And hopefully the audience is catching on to that because Emma's sharing her journey and it's just so awesome to watch. And really I think it's just the beginning for you. I mean, I think you're gonna over this next year or two, I could see you blowing up very, very fast. And because you're basing things on some of these success principles that are there, which is really awesome. And I noticed, even with the books that you've been highlighting on your profile and stuff like that, I was wondering if you could share with the audience, like your kind of thoughts behind that self education and learning the success principles and things like that.
Self education is really good, because you're kind of learning, as well as through experience. You can learn through other people's experience as well, and that's why reading is good. But to be honest with you, I didn't start reading until about 6 months ago, so I've been doing this without books.
Wow.
but they are really helping now. I can see so much more potential out there, and I highly recommend that people really read up on all of these books, as well as definitely trying things through experience, because that's how you learn the most, through
Yeah.
action, through doing, and
Yeah.
actually getting that negative feedback and that positive feedback that pushes you forward.
Yeah. And that was very well said. And I think it touches on two really good points. One is because, say, people that even if they started in reverse, where maybe they were just more reading more, consuming more, but not really taking action, then it's those principles not being applied is not helping them as much. Where part of your journey is where, you sort of started out just by doing testing, seeing what works. And because you had the perseverance and the mindset to want to figure out a solution, you've done that in so many different ways throughout your journey. And now, like you said, if it was only 6 months ago, I mean, man, that's awesome because now you're on a fast track because now having that mindset, having those habits, and now you're applying, the principles that, some of the other great, authors and things like that have given. Wow, it's just going to skyrocket for you. That's just amazing stuff for sure. But the second point that I wanted to bring up was that trial and error, that testing. So going back to, drop shipping, I think is one thing that's really important, and I think you've touched on it in other forms, which is the importance of product testing. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about
Oh, well, firstly, I want to say with the first part, you're spot on there. I
that.
definitely was one to just take action and throw shit at the wall and saw what stuck, what
Yeah,
actually worked, without
yeah,
like getting caught up in the over analyzing and reading and consuming. I was doing, and
doing.
that's
Yeah.
key. Yeah,
Yeah,
doing.
for sure, for sure. And hopefully the audience is catching on to that because, I talk to so many people and I think by now you're probably, becoming a mentor for so many people. And, it really is about encouraging them just to take action and not to be fearful, right? Overcoming what scares you. For some reason, people are stuck at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But a little secret here, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the success principles there has just been really awesome. And you know what? I was wondering if you could explain, what you were sharing on your profile, the cube. How do you pronounce that?
Pomodoro cube.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
share that with the audience, what you know.
So I have this little cube with numbers on it. So it goes from 5 to 25. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And you flip the cube and face the number that you want upwards. And once that number's facing up, it will start a timer. And the whole premise behind this timer is that it's using the Pomodoro technique, which is a way to avoid procrastination. So you
Nice.
set a 25-minute timer, no distractions, and you just work on the task for 25 minutes. Once the timer beeps at you, you're done and you take a break for however long you like, but normally it's 5 minutes. Take a break, you rest, you think about something else for a while. And then, depending on your schedule, if you want to resume that same task or another task, then you start all over again. You do 25 minutes. And this really helps you focus on the task at hand instead of this big scary thing. Like, say you have 100 emails in your inbox and you're like, oh wow, I don't really want to answer all of these. How am I going to ever do it in time? I don't even
Yeah,
want to start. It
yeah,
switches you from that pain really to doing. So if you start the timer, you're like, okay, I only have to do this for 25 minutes. Let's go. Let's jump straight into it. And that's
yeah.
the whole thing behind the cube. There's a lot of apps on Chrome or your phone. Just search for Pomodoro timer and you'll find one.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And how do you feel like it's been helping you a lot?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it was cool because I remember as you were sharing that, and I think it was like one of the stories where you had like even a kind of explaining that, and you were doing that through the doodles or the sketching, which I thought was really cool. Share a little bit more about that because I love things that are shared through sketch and through art. And I think it's a really powerful technique but I think it even grasps, older audience as well. Like anybody, they can learn through pictures or through sketches and things like that.
Yeah, definitely showing things and trying to teach things with images. It makes it kind of click in the audience's mind better. I
Yeah.
learned that through reading .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. He has all these little
Yeah, he's got the
pictures that
best
you,
sketches in there, right?
yeah, yeah, little pictures where you can really like remember the concept and core
Yeah.
idea that he's teaching.
Yes.
Um, so that post on Instagram was of, I think there was one with the Pomodoro timer, and it said, "Your brain is like an egg. Don't overcook it by working so much." And there was like a
Uh-huh.
picture of an egg on fire and stuff.
Is that what
And
that
it
was?
kind of, yeah, yeah, it brings like a little bit of humor into it and like a visual image to
Okay.
the concept, and you can remember things a lot better if there's like a visual image there.
Yeah. That's awesome stuff. Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up, Russell Brunson's sketches as well, because yeah, those, really hit home. And then, he ran with it, and now you see all his material, has those sketches, and it just really lays it out to get a quick understanding of what the principles are. And then of course, you can read through the material and learn, deeper details, but then you can always reference those sketches, and it's a quick reminder and a quick reference. I think there's something really powerful about that. And it's awesome. And it's really cool that you started sharing that with the way that you're teaching with your audience, which is cool.
Yeah, 100%. I hope to do more of it. It's pretty entertaining as well for me to be doing that.
To
Like drawing is
do this
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. So, well, actually, so for the audience, see if we can cover, any kind of tips or strategies that you have. I did catch that video that you shared of getting started getting started with $10. You want to share that with the audience?
Yeah. So many people say that you need all this startup capital to start dropshipping, but that's not true. You can actually get started for the price of lunch, like $10. And that's what I did myself. So there's no
Awesome.
excuses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And even explain that if you can at like a high level
At
of
Shopify
the process.
developers. You can actually sign up for free for Shopify without needing a trial using the Shopify developers platform. So this is a little secret that I figured out along the way. I was a bit
Oh,
of a penny pincher with my money, and I kind of discovered that you can do Shopify for free without having to pay monthly. With the Shopify developers platform, you sign up and pretend that you're a website developer making a store for someone else, and
yeah.
but you're actually making it for yourself. And this way you get to use their free kind of trial kind of thing where you don't have to pay unless you get around 50 sales. If you get over 50 sales, then you have to start paying for Shopify. And this is a great way for people new to dropshipping to start out, because if you don't get any sales, then you don't pay anything.
Wow. Yeah, that is really powerful and a really great tip. And hopefully the audience caught on to that, because I've used the Shopify developers and really for that purpose. And you do get the full features out of there, which is really awesome. So yeah, doing it for yourself. And I did not know about that, like the 50 order limit, but that should be enough to kind of get your wheels in motion and to cover the low monthly payment for keeping the Shopify store open if you're getting up to 50 sales, right?
Yeah, exactly. The other trade-off is that you can't install paid apps, even if they have a free trial, but you can install some apps. So I think Luke's Reviews is one that allows you to install it with the developers platform, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of others like Reversion and all that. They let you install it for testing, but you have to really make sure what you install can actually be done. Um,
Mm. Good
People
point.
don't tell you about the program because they want you to sign up under their affiliate link. But sorry, guys, I don't have one. I'll let you know how to do it for free.
Yeah, no, you've been dropping real value for sure. And basically, this would be really helpful for the, kind of like the bootstrapper that money is a little hard. Emma, laid it out, and actually you can find it on her YouTube channel. And I think you also gave like a really good helpful download as well that shows you step by step how to do it, which you just kind of laid out this whole path of setting up the store and getting started. The cost, the $10 cost is, I'll let you tell the audience, that's related to what?
It's related to the domain name. That's the only thing you need to buy.
That's awesome stuff. So I mean, yeah, I mean, Emma's, delivering real value, and for the people that, especially the newbies that are looking to get started, and if you're looking to get started without much investment, I mean, wow, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for somebody just to start taking action, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Everything you need is out there for free or like for a really low cost. It does take a little bit more extra time and learning. So that's why I put up a little guide on YouTube, Real Emma Reid, if you want to check that out.
Awesome.
There is the download that shows you how to sign up for Shopify developers, get the free trial, and also like buy a domain name, how to do that, how to add your email hosting, and also how to advertise with free traffic methods instead of paying for ads straight away. So it shows you all of that. And people have given me some good feedback. They're saying it's really helpful and it's allowing them to actually take action instead of worrying about all these fees and costs and saving money up so they can start. It's allowing them to actually get started now and worry
Yeah.
about the rest of it later.
Very well said. Man, that is just awesome stuff. Real value there for sure. And I'm telling you, like, yeah, I haven't heard that anywhere else. And that's a really, really good tip and value. One other thing that I was curious about, related to like a drop shipping strategy. So I know most drop shippers, they kind of fall within one of these three different categories. Like either they start like a general store, or they start a niche store, or they start like a single product store. And what's been your approach?
All of my successful stores have been one product stores. Not
Wow.
everyone can do that, but since I've had experience in like, the online world, I'm able to kind of put a unique spin on the product and really dive deep into the audience and sell it that way with a one product store. But for beginners, it's better to start out with like a niche store. I wouldn't recommend general, but niche kind of allows you to dive deep into the audience because they're all similar people. But if you have a general store, you're kind of all over the place. Yes, you can test more products. Yes, you can jump on the trends and viral products and stuff like that. But if you
Hmm.
want like a long-term store, a long-term business, and start putting unique angles on things, then you do want a niche or a one product store.
Wow, wow, that's really awesome. And in testing the one product store, so how do you know, like, what's your research to try to identify if it's a winning product worth building out?
So I kind of do it a little bit differently. Like I said, I don't follow trends and stuff. So I'm not looking for the next like winning hot product that's going to go viral or whatever.
Hmm.
I look for things that I can see and, they solve a problem. There is a need, but I can kind of advertise them in a different sort of way than other people usually would expect it to be advertised as.
Mm.
So when I stumble across, like, I don't dive deep into researching products. They seem to pop out at me. Like the most recent one that I'm testing is something my mom bought on AliExpress, and I looked at it and I was like, this looks really useful, but no one's selling this. Let's give that a try. It was something really weird.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
And it
that's
started
my audit.
working.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, it started working.
The product
Um,
research. Yeah.
yeah, and my mum was the target market, so I could study her and ask her questions. That's a good
Yeah.
way to really test a product.
Yeah.
She's already bought it. She's already bought it. So obviously she wanted this for some reason. Let's ask her why.
No, that's awesome for sure. Yeah. And, another question is, so with the one product store, do you still follow that strategy? So like, are you launching one product stores through that developer network? And then if you see it getting sales, then you upgrade it to the full store?
Yep, pretty much. I still
Wow, that's
follow
awesome.
that strategy. I launched through developers. I set up a whole store around the product, do like the branding, all
Yeah.
of that, the Instagram account, the Facebook account, everything set up. It takes a lot of extra time, but it's worth it if you find a product. That's
Yeah.
why niche stores can be of a bit of a benefit if you were testing new products all the time, but I tend to really find this good one, like just take one and spend the extra time to build it around that. Uh, and after that, I set up the Instagram. I start marketing it on there with organic traffic methods. So, participating in the community, asking people for feedback, basically just interacting with potential customers, putting up posts and seeing if I get some traffic and interest and clicks. And that helps you do audience research as well, like actually find where your customer is, who they are, and
Yeah.
why they want to buy it for you. And with that, if you're getting sales that way organically, then it's something that is probably going to work. So you go from there.
Wow, really awesome. Yeah. And I could see, that same approach working very well in your testing. And while you're testing, you're not losing or investing that much money up front while you're still testing it out. And as you can see, and hopefully the audience is seeing, is that it all goes back to testing to see what works. You're doing, some research to a certain extent, and then really just kind of throwing it out there to see what works.
Yeah, exactly. All about the testing.
That's awesome. No, for sure. One of the things that I did want to talk to you about, because I've been asked this a lot, and that's why I'm really glad to have you on the show, because people would ask me, why don't you have more e-commerce women on the show? And I said, I'd love to. I need to get more recommendations, and I'll try to find more people online as I go through. So I'm looking for more recommendations. I kind of feel like, and maybe you can give me your perspective. My background's in technology. I've been in technology for about 20 years, since the dot-com boom. Have my own tech company, and I proved out all different forms of online business. I don't want to talk too much about my story, but what I wanted to relate to was that a part of the movement to encourage more women to get into coding and into STEM, there's been, a big movement to help encourage women into there. It feels like it's similar in the e-commerce space as well, that, we should be encouraging more, women into this space to venture in, to overcome, what might seem, scary or fearful. And you've been doing a great job at that. But I was curious about, your perspective.
Well, honestly, I don't know many women in this game either. Like, there's Wholesale Ted, Sarah from Wholesale Ted on YouTube. She's really big, but she's mainly the only person I know that's actually succeeding, like a woman in dropshipping at the moment.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, I've only been networking for a while in this space now, and I haven't really connected with many people. So I'd love to connect me with more women as well. That would be awesome. So send them
Yeah.
my way if you do find them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, following our conversation here, we're gonna have two other women drop shippers that are crushing it in drop shipping as well. One is Naz, and another one is Dara. But two of them there that, yeah, absolutely crushing it. And I thought it was like really cool that now all of a sudden starting to see, at least them coming out of the woodwork. But yeah, I mean, kind of like what you were touching on, I think there's some similarities to, like, the same way, like, coders and technology and coding. I've been a part of like the code.org movement, teaching kids how to code and adults, but then also now we have this movement of, I think they call, like, girl code, or like just to kind of encourage, more women to get into the technology space. And I think some similarities here in the e-commerce space and drop shipping where,
Yeah, I think most of the reason that women aren't really involved in this space is because they're focused on building their own personal brands up on Instagram, doing blogging, creating their own line of products. Whereas like AliExpress dropshipping, you don't have to be the face of your brand, and men like doing it that way. It's kind of attractive because if you're able to hide behind a store name, then you're not really risking your own face, your own personal brand, unless it goes big. And then you can be like, okay, well, now I've done this thing, I've achieved it, let's put it out public. So I think women might like to avoid that. Like I know I did want to avoid that. I didn't really want people to know what I was doing. I don't really know why that is. I've just always been a bit of a private person. And I think a lot of women out there are the same. A lot of people in general are the same. I think a big part of it as well is because men are wired to take more risk. Women are like, the primal urge is to, be nurturers and don't take as many risks. And that could be another reason why more men are in this space. Um, but I do think there is a lot more women out there drop shipping than we know of. They're just
Yeah.
keeping it a bit more private. And I hope to, be that figure that tells them that, just go put yourself out there, because we're not judging you. The men aren't judging you for, creating these awesome brands, these awesome dropship businesses. It's just awesome to be doing that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I was catching on that too. So like I had a chance to interview Jessica from Oberlo, and it was really cool talking to her. She has a really great understanding of drop shipping and e-commerce, and she's that YouTube personality for Oberlo, which is just like really awesome. But the reason why I brought her up was because I mean she's already had some guests on her YouTube channel that were female drop shippers. So I remember that she had at least a couple that I'm planning to reach out to as well to invite as future guests on the show. So kind of like what you said, there's also a good number of drop shippers, I would say both male and female, that they're not looking to be a personal brand. They're just kind of like, you know, just crushing it quietly and, running their business like a business. And I think Jessica's doing, really good. And I think they have the data because, now that Oberlo is owned by, Shopify or acquired by Shopify, that they have the data, so they can see who is actually crushing it. And I think they're reaching out to those individuals. And that was the way that she worded it, that there's some that have a really awesome success story, but they're not necessarily looking to get out on YouTube and Instagram and be a big personal brand like we see on other professional drop shippers. So there's a good mix, which is there, and hopefully, but I think their stories would be really awesome to hear. And
Yeah, those are the people that you've really got to watch out for, because they're sneaky. They're doing big things, and without you watching, you just wait. They'll rise up eventually. I did. I was keeping it all under wraps because, like I said, I was a private person, but I realized that there's so much more personal growth, as well as, when you're in the spotlight. I don't like being in the spotlight, but I'm realizing now that it's important if you have something to share with the world. If you really want to teach other people, I'm finding that I really enjoy, like talking to other people about this stuff, teaching my strategies, talking about the mindset. That's really key. I know a lot of people are like me, and they don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want all this attention around them, but if they do have something to share and they're passionate about that, then they should definitely think about building a personal brand around it,
yeah,
because it opens up so many new opportunities moving forward as well. Especially just being able to bounce ideas off the wall with other people like you, like masterminds, or even just DMing people in the space.
yeah,
If you build that audience around yourself, then you're able to propel yourself higher. And that's what I'm trying to do here.
Very, very well said for sure. And I mean, it becomes a win-win situation. Just like you said, opportunities open up. And the other thing is the fulfillment in it, meaning that, when you kind of get the words back from a person that you helped, and they're just like, so thankful or appreciative, and like, oh, you changed my life, those type of those things, knowing that, okay, you shared something of value to help out another person, because of what's working for you is now working for them. And that type of fulfillment, are you experiencing that right now?
Yeah, for sure. I was actually feeling a little bit empty doing all those big numbers, and kind of was questioning, am I actually having an impact on the world, or am I just going to be this middleman by selling drop shipping products? And I know there's people out there that have felt the same at one point.
Yeah.
And it gets, when you're at a certain level of success, your mindset kind of changes. You need more than just money. And I'm finding that by, speaking about it and helping other people along on their journey. And in return, I'm learning from them as well.
Powerful stuff for sure. Wow, Emma, this is really great stuff. And you know what? It actually kind of sparked a question. So when did you like recently started your YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, back in June.
Yeah. Wow.
So
It's been about like,
just over a month and a half or a little bit more.
wow. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. No, I see a big future for you for sure as things go. So I would say, and how often are you dropping videos on that?
At the moment, it's just once a week, but I'm planning on doing more.
That's cool.
I did I did get a bit of content up there in the beginning, but I'm getting better at recording videos and actually thinking about the value bombs that I want to drop on there. So I'm doing a bit of planning.
That's awesome.
I did start a Facebook group recently called Ecom Elves, like the little
Yeah.
magical creatures with pointy ears.
Yeah. I did catch
And yeah, I hope to drop a lot more value in there as well, and get the discussion going, because people interacting with other people can spark those questions and unique answers that I can't answer in DMs or in my videos. Like it's a better way for people to communicate in a group setting, because other people learn along with you.
and what's the story behind, picking the name Elf?
So my friend Carlos said that I should get some elf ears,
Uh-huh.
because on Instagram there's this dude called Ken Lamas, uh, and and he one day he told me that I look like an elf, and he sent a picture of it, and I put it up on my story, and
Yeah.
everyone was agreeing. So Carlos over there told
Yeah.
me I should get some elf ears and wear it on my YouTube videos, but that didn't really feel like me, so I didn't do it. But after a long conversation with another friend, Bree from IG Personal Branding on Instagram, just a
Uh,
lot of name drops there,
that's awesome.
we were talking about what I wanted to do moving forward and what kind of communities and impact I want to have. And I decided, why not throw up this Facebook group called Ecom Elves, and I'll make myself the face of it, put up my pointy ears, my $4 ears that I bought on Amazon, and
That's awesome.
go from there. Create a army of powerful people, magical people that can do powerful things if they set their mind for it.
Yeah.
Don't wait around for Santa to gift you the present. You have to go out there and make it yourself, because you're the elf. You're
Yeah.
the elf in this situation. You do the doing.
Make it happen. Yeah, that's really
Yep,
awesome.
yep.
And really good story
Make
behind that too. And I think it was
yeah, make
Carlos that helped recommend you to be on the show, which is awesome. So shout out to Carlos, and yeah, and everyone you mentioned, we'll be sure to drop that in the show notes as well, their tag names and stuff. And yeah, I do remember that
awesome.
elf picture, because I think I did take a screenshot of that and shared it on the story that you're going to be a future a special guest on Tech Money Talks. So that is really awesome. A really cool photo for sure. And noticing the ecom elves, I requested to join as well. So that's awesome. So yeah, I'd like to be a part of that group too.
Awesome. I'll make sure you get let in. It's a private group at the moment, but you can request access and I'll just approve it.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome stuff. Well, so for the audience, what are the best ways to follow you?
So I'm most active on Instagram. That's at real Emma Reid. And you can, of course, join Ecom Elves, where the magic happens, and follow me along on YouTube as well. It's real Emma Reid as well.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, well, this is really great, man. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show and talking through all these tips and your story behind this, and just really great stuff. And oh, actually, I just remembered, is it cool to follow up with you later in the year to see how things are going?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great for sure. Well, this has been awesome. I'm, really, really glad to have you on the show. You dropped a lot of value for the audience, and I want to give you a chance to leave some closing remarks. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay, so basically, I would say test a lot of shit like me, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, because you're never going to know what works until you actually test it. Sure, you can follow people's courses, their step-by-step instructions, but that doesn't really teach you how to do it for yourself, how to spot opportunities, how to come up with your own strategies and tactics. And that's what I hope to teach people, and do it through dropshipping, because that is the practical experience. And yeah, you definitely learn by doing and opening your mind up to what is out there.
Wow. Awesome stuff. Very well said, and testing. Well, awesome stuff, Emma. I'm really glad to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. It's been really awesome.
No problem. Catch you next time.
So I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Tech Money Talks. I hope everything was helpful and thought-provoking and somewhat entertaining. If you want to learn more about this topic, please let me know so I know what to focus on in future episodes. My goal is to teach people how to make money with the opportunities that technology can bring. And if you like this episode, please show your support by subscribing, leaving an awesome review. And in the meantime, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My tag name is Tech Money Talks. Thanks again. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace.